Tuesday, August 23rd. It's 7:10 in the morning. We got up a little bit early. Seems like all of those hundreds of pilgrims got up really early, and most of them have already left, and we're beginning to recognize faces, names, and people are happy to see each other at the end of each day. So we're leaving the kind of complicated city of Pamplona with 500 streets going each direction. It's empty. Last night it was so crowded with people. After 5 kilometers walking on paved roads in the different suburbs of Pamplona, now we're merging to a gravel road. And there's some pilgrims ahead of us, behind us. We kind of start off more congested and then spread out throughout the day, end up like walking alone. And this is ahead of us. This is this mountain. I have a feeling this is the mountain we're gonna have to climb on. We're gonna go up 750 meters today, and then it's gonna be a steep descent. Everybody worries about the descent. It's much easier to go up than to go down. We're passing huge field of sunflowers. That's second field of sunflowers, and pilgrims made all kind of faces and symbols on them. We just had a brief stop in a local bar. Alice had a sandwich, and had some dried fruit and multifrutas drink. And our main challenge today, at least my main challenge, is to remain hydrated, because today is a very hot day. That town back there, that's where we came from. Unbelievable. Just one little step at a time, and we're already so far away. Look at all those sunflowers, and then the windmills, whole line of them. We reached the top of the mountain that's called Alto del Perdon. It's elevated at 790 meters, and this is what we're looking at. These figures here are an kind of iron representation of medieval pilgrims, and their heads are bent to the west, and there's an inscription that translates where the way of the wind crosses the way of the stars. Donde se cruza el camino del viento con el de las estellas. It's a little bit steep here. With my height anxiety, I have to be careful. We took lots of pictures on the mountain top, and now we're starting to go down. We met some new pilgrims on the top of the mountain, and this one pilgrim from Poland told us that she joined up with 10 other pilgrims in Saint Jean, and so far like 4 of them already.
Hola.
Hola.
Buen camino.
Buen camino. So far, one had a sunstroke and dropped off. One had a problem with the knee and had to stop, and one had a problem with the ankle and dropped off from the pilgrimage. And the other ones she doesn't know. So people are dropping off. So far we're doing good. Alice has been putting plasters on her feet, the moleskin that I brought. And you know, it's good because each time I give her something, it's lighter for me to carry, so it's better for me and it works for her. I guess out of the boredom, elevated little structures to balance the stones, and there's a whole bunch of these little monuments. I had to insist that Alice puts her hat on because the sun is so strong, and she just wanted to have a band on her head, and I said no, you have to have the hat on because you don't want to get a heat stroke or sunstroke. So finally she did. God is so good to us. All these blackberries, wild blackberries, they are starting to ripen up, and people don't eat them. I guess they don't know how good they are. Now these blackberries have the highest antioxidant value among many other fruit. So we just take advantage of the generosity of our Lord, and we eat them as we walk. They're just absolutely delicious. These 2 passing pilgrims told us that the plants here, that's anise, and indeed it smells beautiful like anise, and we just grab it and put it on our arms and rub it in, and that helps scare away the flies and the mosquitoes. Look at the beautiful anise plants. Here we're coming to an intersection, and we have 2 roads that look kind of similar. Both of them kind of look the same. And what every wise pilgrim is looking for is these signs. I just spoke to this Polish pilgrim, and she said yesterday her head was down, the brim of the head was down. She didn't see the signs, and she wandered off 12 kilometers away from the path. So she got some car, they brought her back to the right path. But see, on the way of St. James, you look for the signs. If you want to get to your destination, you have to follow the signs. And this road, even, it looks pretty, and not any worse than this one. That's the wrong road to take. And if you take it, you either have to come back, or you're not gonna get to your destination most likely. It's gonna take you an awful long time. And as I was pondering today on my spiritual journey, the 10 commandments are our arrows how to get to heaven. And so many people these days say, well, I'm not gonna follow this commandment or that commandment, or I'm not gonna follow them at all. I'm gonna do whatever I want. And if you take such an attitude on Camino, you're not gonna end up in Santiago or Fisterra. You're gonna end up in Paris maybe, or Rome. But you're not gonna end up in Santiago or Fisterra. You have to follow the yellow arrows. You have to follow the signs. And I think the same in the spiritual life. We just don't realize how important the commandments are, and how we have to follow them with our whole heart, because the one who gave them to us is much wiser than the people who created the Camino and made the signs. God gave us the 10 Commandments so we reach heaven. If we disregard to obey holiday and we work on Sunday, we don't go to church on Sunday, we're wandering off in a wrong direction. And God is merciful, but that's your choice. That's my choice. You choose to go the wrong way, you're not gonna get to Santiago. So thanks be to God for the commandments, and I beg God that He will give me the grace to follow them so I get to heaven, because that's my goal. And in my spiritual life, it does happen that I wander off. I go in the wrong direction, which is human, and that happens. So God knew our weaknesses, and He gave us the sacrament of confession. And in the sacrament of confession, it's like those people that pick up the Polish pilgrim, and they brought her back those 12 miles so she doesn't have to take the whole day to come back. That's what confession is. You go, you confess your sin, and God forgives you. God, merciful God, always waits for everybody in the confessional, and the door to the Catholic Church are open to everybody. It's not an exclusive club. It's open to everybody who wants to follow the 10 Commandments. It's not for those who want to create their own church and create their own truths. They can do that on their own. Additionally, to give us the strength on our journey, God gives us the sacrament of Eucharist, Holy Communion. And that's truly Jesus Christ in that waffle. Jesus Christ changes that waffle into His body and blood, the wine into His blood. And Jesus is fully present in the waffle and in the blood. And that's what gives us protection and strength. That's our greatest help on our journey. That's like bread for a pilgrim and water. And I've been going to church every day for the last 16 years, and it's amazing what God does for me just because of that. So I wanted to share with you. Lots of elderberry bushes along the way, but honestly, God is giving us a free sauna today. It's like 100 something degrees. Some pilgrims decided not to walk today at all and spend the day in an albergue. Others are just hiding under the trees in the shade. Hardly anybody walking. It's just unbearable hot heat. Gosh. So I'm sure a lot of people will have a heat stroke today. Oh, I'm just craving to drink something. These blueberries are so beautiful. I mean, these elderberries, look at them. So many. So this is La Iglesia de Santiago, Church of St. James. I'm going to this.
Es bonita, ¿eh?
James.